You are going to elevate yourself so high that everything is beneath you.
No, just no.
For the girls that are in relationships, do not tell your man what you are insecure about.
Absolute worst piece of advice I've ever heard, ever. This face does not even look similar to the one in the previous photo. I don't even know what my lips are doing in this photo, but for some reason I thought that looked good. I am horrified that I posted these photos on social media. We've all had a weak moment in our lives where we just feel like absolute garbage about ourselves. And so we go to YouTube or go to TikTok and we type in how to find real confidence. What I've found when watching these videos for myself was that these tips are absolute garbage. They are horrible. I have spent the last 12 years of my life trying to get out of the pits of the insecurity pit. And it has been a journey. I have tons of photos on my phone and tons of videos from the last 12 years, and I found some photos of when I just felt my most insecure. Back in the day, I thought some of these looked bomb. I thought I was gonna snatch up the most amazing guy because he's gonna be like, wow, she's a babe, she's not insecure at all, she's confident, she's hot. Little did I know, my editing was just awful. That's besides the point. This first photo was taken on September 1st, 2019. I had just met my husband when I took this. I altered this photo to the extreme, as you can see. Face blurred, jaw snatched in, arms obviously edited and slimmed. Lips are doing I don't even know what. Eyes are brightened. For context, in this photo, I was like 110 pounds, so I was already super skinny, and yet I thought I was still fat. This next photo is from the same day. This face does not even look similar to the one in the previous photo. I posted both of these photos on Instagram, by the way. Again, arms obviously edited. My face altered. I don't even know what my lips are doing in this photo, but for some reason I thought that looked good. I am horrified that I posted these photos on social media. This next photo is from September 13th, 2021. This one was an Instagram filter. I forget what it was called, but I used this one religiously, but that wasn't enough to make me like myself more. I took this photo, then I would transfer it to one of those like face apps. I think the one I used was called Beauty Plus or something like that. I would go into those apps and then I would edit my face even more. Jaw snatched in, nose slimmed. I have a little bump on my nose that I didn't like back then. I thought it was super ugly. So I would always make my nose like sloped when in reality everybody knew that my nose was not that sloped. This next one is from a year later, May 21st, 2022. Waist is snatched in. First of all, I'm wearing a lot of makeup. This was a hard time in my life. Kind of reflected how I was feeling inside, I guess. The emo winged black eyeliner, which I used to do in high school all the time. This one was taken on June 15th, 2022. So this was a month later. And looking at this photo, you might see someone who's confident, but in reality, I was so insecure. I had fake tan on. I had a cuter outfit on, but not exactly modest. I had my hair slicked back like the typical clean girl, gold hoops, a nice necklace, and a smile on my face. And it goes to show that wearing cute clothes does not equate confidence. This photo was 10 days later. Same thing, wearing a cuter but not modest outfit, hoops, fake tan on, lots of makeup, Instagram filter, then edited even more. Now this video I posted back in April of 2023. This was when I first started creating content on TikTok and Instagram. At this point in my career on social media, I was not comfortable going on camera without a filter on. Needless to say, I wasn't comfortable doing anything without a filter on. I'm happy to say I don't have to take selfies anymore with a filter on. In fact, I hardly take selfies at all, unless it's for like a thumbnail. Okay, this next photo, it was taken almost 10 years ago, maybe. Actually, probably more than that. I was about 16, and I remember exactly what was going through my head when I took this photo. If you struggle with body dysmorphia, this is where I kind of talk about that. I struggled with body dysmorphia for most of my life, and I thought in this photo that I was overweight. My stomach is protruding out a little bit, but it's sad to see this person who's so young thinking that they are fat when they're not. And this wasn't even the heaviest I've ever been. This is another photo taken the same day, just from a different angle. This photo, this was years later. I was in my 20s at this point. In this photo specifically, I remember thinking that I was still fat. As you can imagine, during this long period of time where I just felt like garbage about myself, you can bet that I went to YouTube, typed in how to feel more confident. We are going to look at the most common and catchy pieces of advice that are out there on the internet, and I don't want to target any specific creators, but these are just the videos I found that were giving the horrible advice I was talking about, and I want to debunk that with you.
If you want something, move like you already have it. The way I ran with this, I was telling people I was rich when I only had $3,000 in my bank account, posting on social media like I had 86 million followers when I had like 13, portraying that I was living my best life online in conversations when I was the most broken I'd ever been in my life.
What I don't like about this piece of advice is that you are You're lying to everybody around you and you're not being your authentic self. You're telling people you're rich when you're not. You're acting like you're living your best life when you're not. This is one of the many issues with social media. People portray and people act like they're living their best lives when in fact they're struggling inside. One of the things that I really love about having friendships is the ability to open up to them and have community. Have someone pray for you, have someone actually give a crap about you and be there as you navigate the struggle you're going through. I don't like this piece of advice.
You want to be confident, you want to be proud of yourself, start moving like you already are. Talk yourself up, get ready before leaving the house. Show up to places you don't feel welcome. Walk into a room commanding energy with your head high, your shoulders up. Make eye contact, talk to everyone, introduce yourself to the hottest guy in the room. Infiltrate conversations even though you feel uncomfortable doing so.
First of all, going into a room commanding energy is not something you want to do. A truly confident person doesn't need to command energy or command attention from everyone in the room.
Number 2, some people call this delusion, I call it manifestation, but if you think, feel, and say something out loud, it will come true.
Just because you say it out loud does not mean it's going to come true.
You need to be taking care of yourself like you're royalty. Exercise, get your steps in, eat clean, take your vitamins, develop a skincare routine, keep your hands, feet, and hair groomed. Floss twice a day, whiten your teeth, get ready even when you're not leaving the house. Wear jewelry. When you look good, you feel good.
This piece of advice isn't inherently wrong. Yes, you can look good, but you don't have to go to these over-consumerism lengths in order to feel the best version of yourself.
Number 4, and the most important, mind your business. You are going to elevate yourself so high that everything is beneath you.
No, just no. First of all, you are not going to elevate yourself so then everyone and everything is beneath you. Jesus says in Mark 9 verse 35, if anyone would be first, he must be last of all and servant of all. If you think you're better than anyone else, not only is that not confident, that's just super egotistical. People are going to see through that. They're going to say, you know what? She's not a nice person. I don't want to be friends with her. Let's go to the next video.
Step number 1, and I will always live by this, fake it till you make it. This was the biggest factor in me growing my confidence.
I'm not saying that this didn't make her more confident, but I'm saying that this is a horrible piece of advice. The idea is that if you fake being confident, you will eventually become confident. Instead of getting to the root cause of the insecurity, you are covering it up with this fake persona, trying to trick everyone and yourself into believing that you are more confident than you actually are. All faking it does is delay the self-work that needs to be done deep within.
So I'm gonna make more videos on how to be confident. It's the best life skill to have. No skill is better than being confident, because when you're confident, lucky things start happening to you, good things start happening to you, you start being more likable, you just attract the right things. So life just works out for you.
Just because you're confident doesn't mean that you are going to get everything you want in life or that life's just going to work out for you. That's not the way life works, unfortunately. I wish it was. This next video I'm going to show you guys bothers me so much. I think all the advice in here is just absolutely awful. We're going to watch this and we're going to talk about it.
Number 1 is no more victim mindset. No ifs, ands, or buts. There is literally nothing uglier than someone with a victim mindset. Sorry, I said it.
If you go through something very, very hard, you are okay to feel bad about it. You are allowed to feel like a victim if you are a victim.
For the girls that are in relationships, do not tell your man what you are insecure about.
This one is the absolute worst piece of advice I've ever heard, ever. The idea that you're not supposed to share your insecurities with the person that is supposed to be the closest to you physically and emotionally is just terrible advice. If you can't be open about your insecurities and the things you struggle with your significant other, then who are you actually ever going to be real with? Who's going to know the real you? See how far you've come. I'm going to tell you from experience, bottling up insecurities just creates distance in relationships. Being confident does not come from hiding your weaknesses from others. It's about being secure enough to be vulnerable, knowing that your value doesn't diminish because you aren't perfect. She has really good advice, but I'm going to skip to the part where it gets a little bit iffy.
Number 3, make an effort in your appearance. I love how in Proverbs 31, it mentions that this girly wore fine linens. When I put on a cute Holy Girl Slay outfit, I just tackle the day differently. I show up differently. I want you guys to really put effort into the clothes that you wear. We don't want to make it an idol, but we do want to put effort into what we wear because it does glorify the Lord when we wear fine linens.
Confidence does not come from clothes. It's not really about what we look like, but it's how we feel about ourselves. Also, the whole Holy Girl sleigh outfit is just too much. Sure, wearing something cute might help you feel a little bit better in the moment, but it doesn't help fix the deep-rooted insecurity issue that's in your heart. That's it for videos for now, but there are some other pieces of advice that I want to debunk real quick. Look at somebody that you look up to and become her. First of all, that's horrible advice, because there you go again, trying to be somebody else instead of figuring out what your authentic self is. Guaranteed, that idealized version of that influencer or celebrity or person that you're looking up to is not really the true version of themselves. You are going to be looking at an unachievable goal to aspire to be. When you're chasing someone else's identity, you lose your own uniqueness, things that make you you. And no matter how hard you try, you are never going to feel confident in yourself because you are constantly chasing someone else's life. Okay, so if you made it this far, thank you. You get to the part where you actually learn how to be confident. This is the 60-day guide to confidence. Week 1, days 1 to 7, we are going to focus on detoxing from external validation. You are going to limit your time on social media. If you have an iPhone, there is a feature where you can limit how much time you spend on social media, and it will kind of kick you out of that app. If you don't have an iPhone, I want you to set an alarm on your phone telling you, you know what, I'm not using social media anymore for the day. Or if you're feeling really committed, you can just delete social media altogether. If you want to keep social media on your phone, you can begin by unfollowing accounts that make you feel like garbage about yourself, or mute them so you don't see their posts coming up on your feed anymore. What are we going to focus on in this period? Where our lack of confidence comes from. Find a journal where you can just write anything that comes up that makes you feel insecure about yourself. This is where we're going to identify our triggers and figure out how we're able to cut them back. Week 2 is days 8 to 14. I want you to start writing out and saying affirmations about yourself that you know to be true. Things that you know are true about your character. Things like, I am kind, I'm smart, I am a good person, I care about others. Things that point out the good qualities of yourself that you are proud of. This is also where we are going to stop looking in the mirror so much. Something I used to do when I was insecure was that I would look in the mirror for such a long time and hyper fixate on my flaws. I would pick my skin, I would look at everything that was wrong with me. This is called obsessive mirror checking. When we get stuck or fixated on our perceived flaws for too long, your body's stress level actually increases. This impairs our ability to function rationally, which doesn't do much good for our emotional or mental health. Week 3, which are days 15 to 21. This one helped me so much, and this is where my confidence in myself started blossoming. And this is where we ditched the filters. No more Instagram filters, no more TikTok filters, no filters of any kind on any of your photos or any of your videos. You'll see that you are your own worst critic. Every time you use a filter, you are subconsciously telling yourself that you are not good enough the way you are. We are going to break that cycle by embracing our natural selves. Week 4, month 1 is almost done. We are eliminating perfectionism. We are human. We are not perfect, and we are never going to be perfect no matter how hard we try. Whether it's at work, your hobbies, or your relationships, you need to accept that perfectionism is not attainable. Try something that you've always wanted to try. Allow yourself to be a beginner without judgment, and the more you practice, the better you will be. Week 5 are days 29 to 35, and this is where we start skill building. What do you want to work on? What goals do you have for yourself in the new year or in the next 60 days that you want to attain? Choose one area of life to start, whether it's public speaking, making content, cooking more, working out more. Commit a set period of time where you work on that every single day, because the more you do something, the better you're going to be at it. Confidence is born from capability. When you know that you have the tools and the skills in order to succeed, you will be more confident in your own skin. Week 6, track your progress. Write down what you're learning, what challenges you face, and how you see yourself improving every single day. Celebrate every step forward. Real confidence is going to be built on recognizing your growth, even if it is small. Week 7 is where we kind of start revisiting what we went over in week 2. We are going to affirm our identity. Each morning, I want you to speak about your identity, whether it's God-given if you believe in Jesus, or if it's just those affirmations you wrote down about yourself. At this point, you should feel more confident in yourself and like you're more capable. Write down the new strengths that you've discovered. Week 8, we're going to show up authentically. I would hope that at this point, we would already start letting people in. But if you haven't, I want you to open up to somebody. Be your true, authentic self. Let someone see the dark inside of you that you are overcoming. Show them how far you've come. Allow them to be your support. Confidence comes from accepting who you are, flaws and all, and being able to be vulnerable with others around you. You don't need to hide and perform well for others. All right, days 57 to 60, we are getting into the last days here. And this is the reflection phase. We are going to reflect on our journey, go to the start of your confidence journal, and look at how far you've actually come. Do you love yourself more? Do you feel comfortable in your own skin? Do you feel the need to edit your photos, to have a filter on, to portray this fake version of yourself to others? If you don't, congratulations, you are more confident in yourself. If you aren't quite there yet, it's okay. Everyone's journey is different. It took me about almost a year to feel completely confident in myself. I was doing this all on my own. I didn't have any good advice to follow. Day 60, this is the last day. Commit to ongoing growth. Make a commitment to keep developing your skills, to keep working on your self-image, and not just on the outside, but most importantly on the inside, because our outside always is changing. We're gonna grow older. We're gonna have more wrinkles. We're gonna have gray hairs. We're gonna have chin hairs, which unfortunately I have sometimes. Honestly, the other day I had a hair growing straight out of my forehead. Like, how does that even happen? Finding real confidence isn't always a destination. It's an ongoing journey, and one that we're going to have to continuously work at. The more you grow your skills, the more confident you will become.